Today, I'm sharing the exact financial education system that completely transformed my life. It freed me from the stress of living paycheck to paycheck and gave me security about my future. And if you stay until the end, I'm giving you access to some really helpful tools and templates that were game changers for me. I'm Dalia. I help freedom-obsessed professionals build bespoke, soul-led, and AI-powered income streams. My background is 15 years in communications and career strategy. Now, let me be completely transparent. I am a journalist by training, and I'm absolutely terrible with numbers. I can't remember my own phone number, and sometimes I even forget how old I am, although that could be somewhat on purpose. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm just not good with money or finances, then trust me, I get it. Just a few years ago, I was earning well over 100K a year in a demanding career, but I was still feeling stressed about money. I didn't have credit card debt, but I just felt like I had these big dreams that were completely out of reach. And after implementing this system, I now have a 1-year reserve and I have multiple income streams that bring in funds every month. And the best part is that those streams are actually aligned with my values and my passions. So I don't feel that icky feeling about, oh, I have to be doing something I don't want to do to be able to get this money. Here's how we're going to break this down today. First, I'll share my personal financial transformation story, and then I'll reveal the money mindset shift that changed everything. Next, I'll show you how multiple income streams can transform your finances. Fourth, I'll walk you through the exact budgeting system that finally worked after I had tried everything else. And fifth, I'll show you how to manage those irregular expenses that tend to derail our progress. Finally, I'll give you a complete roadmap to put it all together. And by the end of this video, you're going to have a complete system to transform your financial situation while staying true to your values, even if you are as numerically challenged as I am. Let's dive right in. Have you ever felt yourself trapped in a financial prison, sort of your own making? That's exactly where I found myself a few years ago. I was earning a healthy 6-figure income as a communication strategist, which should have been more than enough by most people's standards. But between an expensive apartment and living in an expensive city, my money was just not going that far. And what was worse than the financial stress was really that feeling of just being trapped in a life that wasn't fulfilling me, but it was also too good to take for granted and just leave my job. And at the same time, even if I were to leave my job, what would I do instead? And the weird thing in this situation is that you're in the job for financial security, but then the job also doesn't give you that much financial security. It's just giving you a monthly paycheck, which is basically sustenance. It's basically surviving with like a little bit extra. But that's not really freedom. That's not really true security, because you could still get fired tomorrow. The turning point for me actually came when I read The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. It was a classic, and that was a wake-up call. It was like, you mean I could be earning a living with only working a few hours a week? Time doesn't need to equate to my worth and to my net worth, and I could be just doing what I want to do and living life and still getting paid for it. And that just changed everything for me. What I discovered was that there's something much more fundamental at play here. And that before I changed my financial situation, I needed to change my own relationship with money. Because without even realizing it, it turns out that my very nice, well-meaning immigrant parents had subconsciously programmed me with phrases like, well, money doesn't grow on trees, or why don't you do something productive instead of coloring in that coloring book, or, hard work pays off. And just that very kind of, you must work hard, you must get a responsible job. What I realized was that I had been unconsciously sabotaging my financial growth because deep down, I didn't really believe I deserved abundance. I either thought it was going to make me just one of those people with money, which was not me. And also I believed that to get more money, I'd just have to work so hard I would be burning out, which made me sort of avoid it. The thing is, that belief was also keeping me trapped in that paycheck mindset, because I just couldn't imagine earning money any other way. But when I challenged that belief, I started journaling about it. I started realizing that the richest, wealthiest people are working smarter and not harder. And when I changed that belief, something really amazing happened, which was that I actually started to see money making opportunities everywhere. And that's when I made my most important discovery, which was that those income streams out there, they're not just for someone else smarter than I am. I could actually implement those. I could actually claim those and use my own skills that I already have now to build them. Now, to be honest with you, my first attempt at creating an online income stream was a total failure. I tried to launch an online course about productivity because I have this obsession with efficiency, and that didn't work out for a number of different reasons. It's not that it was a bad idea, but it was a failure, but that's okay because that led me to create the next course, which was about career coaching, because a lot of people would ask me, hey, how did you get your job? How are you getting all these amazing contracts? So that didn't work out, but it's okay because that is what led me to create my career strategy course. And it turned out many people were willing to pay to augment and advance their career and get a job that they actually really enjoyed. And this is what blew my mind. It wasn't just about the extra money. Having that second income stream gave me something even more valuable, which was options. For the first time, my life and just surviving was not dependent on one single source of income. Another thing I did is I made a list of every irregular expense that I could think of from the past year. Things like home maintenance, medical expenses, personal development, gifts, just everything. And then I estimated the annual cost for each category and divided it by 12 to get a monthly amount. That way I could plan for all those irregular expenses in the year to come, and I could save that money, put it aside so that I always had money whenever something unplanned would come up. Now, I'm not a big spreadsheets person, but I do track the balance in a very simple spreadsheet. So I use an app just for day-to-day expenses. That way, every time I buy something, I track it into my app, and that gives me a really easy overview of what I'm spending every single month. That just helps me to look back at the month and just know where's the money going. And then I also have a monthly spreadsheet where I will add those expenses into the spreadsheet, again, just to keep an overview of what's going on in my financial life and allowing me to make better decisions for my future. If you're interested, I'll put the link below so that you can get access to those same templates. Those templates might not sound like a big deal, but in fact, they are absolutely life-changing. That's what's going to take you from feeling like you're in this murky territory where you don't really know what's going on with your finances to feeling just 100% in control, yet without going full on control freak and obsessing or always having to think about money all the time. It literally allows you to never think about money and at the same time be completely in control of it. But having a system for managing expenses is only half the equation. The other half is building true financial security while still investing in your dreams. What if I told you that you don't have to choose between them, that you can build both security and your dreams simultaneously? Most financial advice presents this as an either-or choice. Either save for the future or enjoy your life now. So either put into your emergency fund or save for future opportunities. And this dichotomy made me feel like I was always having to sacrifice one for the other. I started reading a lot about the FIRE movement. That's financial independence, retire early, which is all about investing as much of your paycheck as possible into an index fund or an exchange traded fund, ETF. And that way you're building your wealth for the future so that you can retire early. Now, I love this idea because it's great for freedom, right? However, I also felt that dichotomy of, okay, I know I want to put money away for the future, but I don't want to sacrifice everything now. I don't really want to be surviving on ramen noodles because I do also believe that we have this one life to live. And if you are overly sacrificial of the now, none of us have tomorrow promised to us. We don't know what's going to happen. You shouldn't, every day of our life is precious. We should absolutely be enjoying it. We should be living the experiences that we want, not waiting for 20, 30, 40 years or more to feel like, oh, now I get to enjoy life. Plus, we all know what happens with those people, right? If you create a mindset of scarcity like that, a mindset of I must save every single penny, then a lot of people actually have trouble undoing that mindset years down the line, and they're going to find themselves in this extreme frugality forever. And that's just not how I want to live. I want to, again, I want to really enjoy the now while saving for the future. So I was just having a hard time positioning those two visions in my life and into how do I want to handle my budget. For me, it was also really important to have what I call a dream acceleration fund. So instead of only investing into something like an index fund, which is super long term, you have to count on a couple of decades to use that money, I also had this dream acceleration fund, which would allow me to start investing into my dreams now. But there's one more piece of the puzzle that ties everything together, and that's your soul-led spending optimization. Have you ever tried to cut expenses only to feel deprived and then eventually give up? Traditional advice about cutting lattes and avocado toast really never worked for me. And I've tried that extreme frugality approach. It lasted maybe 1 week before that restriction made me want to spend more than even before. So I developed what I call soul-led spending optimization, which instead of focusing on just cutting all expenses, it's really about aligning with your core values. So first I figured out what those core values actually are. Knowing your core values, by the way, is very important. It's going to help you with more than just money in life. It can help you with every single decision, not just with spending, but also on what type of career to get into, even who you want to hang out with, and all of that. So I would definitely advise getting clear on what are your top 5 core values. And then that way, when you're facing a spending decision, you can think about, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much is this purchase in line with my values? Because, that $5,000 monthly investment in a course or a mastermind group, I realized, is going to be a 9 out of 10 alignment, because that's really funding my freedom. That is something where I'm investing in my own growth, which is something that's super important to me. And that for me was a lot more important than investing into something that I won't even remember that I spent it on in a couple of years. I made a lot of cuts based on alignment, not just on price. So I kept high alignment expenses, even if to someone else it seemed like a luxury. But I also cut a lot of low-cost things that people were like, that's weird. Why don't you want to spend on that? It's not that expensive. And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't align with my values. So why would I spend on that? I'd rather keep my money for higher purchases that are truly aligned. But okay, how do you bring all of these pieces together into a cohesive system that actually works in real life? Now that I've walked you through each and every component of the system, let's talk about how to do the tying it into one nice package. And the beauty of this approach is that you don't have to implement everything all at once. In fact, I would recommend not trying to overhaul your whole financial life overnight, because you're going to end up overwhelmed. Instead, do a phased approach that builds momentum over time. The biggest changes usually happen when you make those micro steps. So I would actually start with your limiting money beliefs, because if you try to take any other action and those beliefs are still there, you are going to keep being sabotaged. So start journaling about what are your money mindset beliefs that are not serving you anymore, and what do you want to replace them with? What's that new belief? Second, create your joy-based budget and start your safety net. Third, set up your no more surprises system for those random expenses. Fourth, begin your super simple investment plan. Start planting those seeds. Fifth, nurture your favorite income stream until it blossoms. Finally, celebrate your financial freedom as multiple income sources let you design a life that you love. When I work with clients on creating their own income streams, I always start by helping them identify the perfect opportunity based on their unique skills and values. This is so crucial because the right income stream should feel energizing rather than draining. I've actually created an AI-powered tool called the Clarity to Cash GPT that helps you identify your perfect income stream based on your unique skills, experiences, and values. In just 10 minutes, it helps you uncover hidden income opportunities, perfectly attuned to your skills, and helps you generate a comprehensive action plan to grow that income stream. And if you're ready to start your own financial transformation, I've put together a free resource pack with all the templates I mentioned in this video. You'll get my financial freedom formula budget template, the freedom funds tracker, and the soul-led spending worksheet. Everything you need to implement this system right away. If you found value in this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content about creating financial freedom through online income streams. But before you go, I'm curious, which part of this system do you think would make the most sense for you in your financial life? Let me know below. And if you want to learn exactly how I overcame my limiting beliefs to create my profitable online income streams, check out my video, How I Reprogrammed My Money Mindset to Create Wealth, on this screen. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.